Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh my god.
You'll see a lot of like purple gray color.
Yeah. Holy shit! Look at this thing.
Oh, so here, look at the shape.
man.
Oh! Oh man!
It's perfect, isn't it?
It's so spectacular.
Yeah. The first time I saw it, I freaked out.
Oh my god, look at this color.
It's
Yes.
coming up, yeah, right now.
This is what Georgia O'Keeffe painted a lot of. This type of formation.
I cried when we arrived. I've never seen a place so beautiful, so colorful, so wild and yet accessible. The landscape I suddenly found myself surrounded by had the most gorgeous earth tones I could ever imagine. Too many shades to be able to count them. The sunlight would play with this palette throughout the day and made sure that no matter how often I looked at the same stunning rock formation, I never got to see the exact same image twice. It was an ever-changing painting created by land, light and clouds right in front of me. We stayed in a cottage that famous painter Georgia O'Keeffe rented for multiple summers before she bought a house of her own on land nearby. She lived in New York, but every summer she would escape the city to be surrounded by the stunning landscape of the Abiquiu region in New Mexico. While staying in this rental cottage, she would explore nature by foot. It became the greatest inspiration for her landscape paintings. I'm a painter myself and I paint with earth pigments, preferably ones that I forage myself. Being immersed in the world of such a famous artist and having all these colors underneath my feet was just... I don't even have words for it. It was stunning, overwhelming, and making me very, very grateful and excited. I did this trip together with my husband, my brother, and my sister-in-law. We arrived at Ghost Ranch in the evening and were greeted with a spectacular sunset. The next morning, we immediately went on our first hike. A hike filled with such breathtaking beauty and wild nature. An experience I will never forget. On that hike, I found something very special. We decided to do the Box Canyon Trail on our first day, and it turned out to be my favorite of all the hiking trails that we did. We were following this beautiful, clear water stream surrounded by spectacular mountain walls on both sides. There were luscious green trees growing between the rocks everywhere. It was quite a wild trail. You could not always see a clear path. We had to climb some rocks here and there and cross the stream multiple times. But exactly that made it so special and exciting. We only came across 3 other people. It was very quiet and peaceful. Just the sound of the streaming water and birds in the sky. As if that wasn't magical enough, the Box Canyon was an absolute earth pigment paradise. I found the most intense, vibrant, golden ochre pigment that I have ever seen. There were so many shades of earth pigments all around me. It was sometimes hard for me to keep up with the group, because I was in awe all the time and I wanted to either film something or collect pigment. Another thing that was really enchanting to me in New Mexico was the native architecture of the houses. These are so-called Adobe-style houses. Before coming to New Mexico, I had never seen them before, nor did I know anything about them. But their simplicity, their soft-looking rounded shapes, and the way these houses complement their natural environment so respectfully is just pure beauty to me. You can immediately see their love for natural materials and natural earth tones. They look so inviting and cozy, and at the same time elegant and bold. It's hard to grasp how all these aspects can be combined in one building in such a minimalistic way. It's art, really. Now that I read about these homes, I'm even more excited about them. Native people used earth, grass, and water to create these smooth-walled homes. And then they used these thick wooden beams called vigas to stabilize the earthy building materials. Those wooden beams go from the inside of the house to the outside. One of the prettiest features, if you ask me. The thick walls keep the house cool inside during hot days, and in the cold desert nights, the walls release the absorbed heat back into the house. So these homes are not only absolutely gorgeous, but very well designed to cooperate with nature in a sustainable way. I love that so much. I want my paintings to be just like these houses. Maybe when I get to build a house one day, it will be an Adobe home. On our last morning at Ghost Ranch, we hiked the Matrimonial Trail. I'm pretty sure this must have been the trail where photographer John Lundgaard took photographs of Georgia O'Keeffe and her dogs. Georgia must have spent a lot of time up these hills, as she loved to paint the Pedernal Mountain. This is also where her ashes have been scattered. The views from this trail were absolutely breathtaking and so diverse depending on the direction you were facing. The shapes created by shadows of the hills and clouds in the morning sunlight were so striking to look at. Coming from the Netherlands, I have never seen something quite like it before. The landscape looked almost surreal to me. My paintings are more abstract than the paintings of Georgia O'Keeffe, but I believe that we both agree that nature creates the most interesting shapes and textures to fall in love with. I was so excited when the earth pigments that I collected in New Mexico arrived safely. I will now process them into finer pigment and soon paint with the colors of the land that Georgia loved so much. I cannot think of a more beautiful way to end this trip.